And I want to go and start in Luke chapter 15, verses 4 through 6, and just kind of show you, here's the heart of God, okay? Here's the heart of God. There once was a shepherd with 100 lambs, but one of his lambs wandered away and was lost. So the shepherd left the 99 lambs out in the open field and searched in the wilderness for that one lost lamb. He didn't stop until he finally found it. With exuberant joy, he raised it up and placed it on his shoulders, carrying it back with cheerful delight. Returning home, he called all of his friends and neighbors together and said, "Let's have a party. Come and celebrate with me the return of my lost lamb. It wandered away, but I found it, and I brought it home." But what we see here is we see Jesus telling this story, and he's explaining, because basically he's being mocked, right? And he's being judged for hanging out with sinners, okay? The people who have no value on their life, right? And so he starts just kind of like saying, okay, let me show you guys, let me share this parable with you so you can see the heart of the Father. Now here he is talking to this audience, but you know who's hanging out? The religious people. They're hanging out in the background listening in. So he's talking to both of them. And he talks to us today. He reminds us in this, listen to me, the value that the 99 have, you have the same value on your head as well. And so I'm willing to leave the 99 to come after you. Now, some of us will say, well, that seems like Jesus is contradicting himself. Why would he ever leave the flock? Well, we can assume they were in good hands. They would have been safe because Jesus would never abandon anyone. But we have to focus on what this really means, is that the value on your life and how much I care about it, I'm willing to do anything. And here's what the Jewish people would have known. They would have said, well, we know, they believe this, that if a sinner came to the Lord, he could be received. But this is radical because Jesus is saying, no sinner's coming to me, I'm going to them. See, the people who are lost, they're not coming to find me, I'm going to them. And this is radical. Why? Because of the value on your life. Because I treasure you. I died for you. The Father gave you his Son. So what does that mean you're worth? And here's the thing. We'll sit there and cry out in our prayers, God, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. Here's what I want to tell you today from the mouth of God. You are worthy. You are worthy. To say you have no value, then that would make absolutely no sense to give Jesus. God wasn't obligated to do this. It was his choice. Why? Because of what you were worth to him. He treasures your life. My wife mentioned earlier, she said we're not no longer sinners for saints. You know, that is the gospel truth. Amen. We do make mistakes and sin, but that's not our identity anymore thanks to Jesus Christ. He made us righteous, not your works. And that's what makes this thing so radical. And that's what makes people stumble and say, I just can't get with that. That just sounds too good to be true. Welcome to the good news of the gospel. It does sound too good to be true, but it's true. And the things that the Lord does for you, he comes after you. It's a relentless pursuit. He's not waiting for you to figure things out. Or maybe you've been taught, once I get right with God, then I'll do this. He made you right with him. Hey, that's Romans chapter 4, the end of it. Praise Jesus, because his death and resurrection made us right with God. So what are you waiting for? And you see why he has to come? Because you don't know any better. He's got to come after you. He's got to come to you. And then what does he do? He comes home and he throws the largest party because I found the one that was far from me. I found the one that wandered off, because we're prone to wander just like sheep. All of us forget who we are, sometimes daily, sometimes by the hour. But there's no condemnation. We live in a broken world. Things happen. We see things. We forget who we are. And then we begin to act like somebody we're not. But here's what the Lord does. It's okay, I'm right here. I'm fully aware of what's going on, and I'm here to help you. In fact, I know you're not willing, but I'm going to carry you back. Later, text says he actually carries you close to his breast. See the idea of him carrying your shoulders? No, he actually holds you and brings you back because of how much you're worth to him. You have to get this. You know, it's like if I went to, I used to work at Sears, so just it came to my mind. So Sears, if I went to Sears, we used to sell the big screen TVs. I used to sell those projector TVs. Remember those big things, right? That took up your whole living room? A big old projection TV, 40-inch screen. It's like now they're flat, and you're like, oh. But it's like, can you imagine going to like the $29 DVD player, right, and putting that sticker on the TV and be like, I'll take this. And it work, because that's not what it's worth. But when it comes to this life with God, that's how it works with you. Yeah. See, you have the same value as the 99, the one. Yeah. And here's the thing that's radical, is the Father loves you and this is going to tick some of you off now. Don't be religious. He loves you just as much as he loves Jesus. The same love he has for Jesus, he loves you. See, that's the truth, whether you like it or not. And it's not your fault. You didn't do anything for this. It was his desire. It's his will. He saved us all. And the saddest thing is the people who reject him, they go to hell for a God that's already saved them. See, he's good. The gates of heaven are always open. The people are literally sending themselves there because they reject the one who saved them. How do I know this to be true? Man, you were saved before the foundation of the world. Jesus was already slain before he even created the world. I mean, that makes you go, whoa, what's going on? I don't get that. Yeah, those are those mysteries that maybe in eternity we'll figure out. How was I co-crucified with you? I was on the cross with you? Like, these are the things that make you, well, we have an eternity to learn this stuff. But this is the truth. You have a good shepherd. He comes after you. And you know what's interesting? And this is for somebody today. We can sit there when we're in a good mood and a good place, spiritually, we're feeling good, things are going well. We can sit there and proclaim this truth about how Jesus will come after the lost. He'll save you. Give your life to God. He loves you. But the second you mess up, or the second someone in the family messes up, man, we could be so hard on them. We could be so hard on ourselves. It's like, have you not forgotten that he's still Savior? Even when you find yourself forgetting who you are and going into a place of darkness, sin, and living out a way that isn't you, he doesn't shun you. We can't shun people. There's so many people. I mean, I think about the church in America, how it's just totally shrunk, especially since the pandemic. I mean, do you know even the people who once were a part of the church, if they would just come back, what that would look like? No, seriously, even in our church alone, they've just come back. And so it's not just people who don't know God, it's people who are far from God. And there are brothers and sisters that are just so lost right now. And we've got to remind them, hey, here's the good news. Christ is coming for you. Don't let him be your boogeyman, because he will be, because he's not going to leave you alone. So just receive him. You know how he does that? Through you. Through you. So realize your value and know that the person sitting next to you, they have the same value on them per God.